What's the name of the system you follow to get into property?
Okay, so I looked into like many different, schemes and whatnot. There's Help to Buy, shared ownership, 10%, 5% mortgages. So I explored all of them. The one I did, I decided to go with 10%. And the reason I decided to go with 10% is because at the end of the year I had a lot of money that the business made. So my logic was that I may as well use that money to get to owe less money. That may sound confusing, but if I drop enough money down now, I'm gonna owe less later. That was my logic. My second option was Help to Buy, but my accountant advised against that because basically with Help to Buy, essentially you're getting two loans. You're getting a loan from the government, you're getting a loan from the mortgage lender, and then you're putting in your own deposit. Whereas if you put 10%, you're only getting a loan from the mortgage lender. And if your property should increase or decrease in value, the money you borrow from the government will also increase or decrease in value. Whereas if you do 10%, it's fixed. So whether your property becomes from 500K to 1 million, whatever you owe is whatever you owe with 10%.
Listen, when it comes to this property thing, it can be a bit confusing because there's so many ways, so many angles. Obviously, if you do need any help, or you want us to clarify anything, also DM any of us or ask us for any information because we're here to help. We don't have the most knowledge, but if we are confused about anything, you can also research on Google as well.
Yeah.
But on the option you spoke about was 10% option, which I've never heard, but obviously I've just heard it from you today. And also Help to Buy. The good thing about Help to Buy is this is a government scheme that was put in place, which is through 2021. I think 2021 or 2022. Actually, which is a government scheme that the government pays some money towards you buying a first-hand property.
Yeah. And
this is a scheme which allows people like myself, himself, and others that don't have as much income or as much finances as people that do. It helps us to get onto the ladder. And the good thing is, obviously, with that one, it comes with a 5 years interest-free, where obviously, if you pay that government's money back within 5 years, you don't have to pay interest on it, and the rest is just mortgage, which is good. Now, there's also other schemes as well that I wanted to talk about that you could also use to get into property. One of them is Right to Buy. Now, this Right to Buy is for people that have lived in council houses for a long period of time, let's say maybe 10, 15 years. Now, what the council will do, the council will now give you a discounted price on buying the property. So, which obviously is cheaper than buying it in the current market. But then also, there's also something called shared ownership. So what happens is you buy a percentage of the share of the property. Let's say, for example, I bought 10% of the property. There's still 90% left. So on that 10% ownership, you might pay maybe like just certain amount of deposit onto that 10% ownership. And then the 90% is what the council owns or our housing association owns. And then you pay rent on that remaining part that you don't own. But the more you buy the share of the council or the housing association, the more your rent drops and your mortgage goes up. So like I said, it can get a lot confusing. But if you now can't go through any of these schemes, there's also an option of living in a boat. And I know living in a boat might not sound interesting, but there's some good points about it because I've looked at it. One of them is, for example, if you live in a boat, it's cheaper than a normal house. Yeah. And 2, it's still livable. And number 3 is, when you live in a boat, you can move, you can travel everywhere. I've known someone that lives in a boat and he goes to Belgium, France, all different places. So it's up to you. If you like traveling, that's also another option.